So your child pees just fine on the toilet, but poop is a completely different story. Maybe they're having accidents, pooping in their underwear, or not pooping at all. The very first thing that you need to understand and learn from this video is that you are not alone. I cannot tell you how many clients come to me crying over their child's poop situations and thinking that they've done something wrong, that they're the only one. Why is my kid the only one who struggles with this? And they are not. And I'm also speaking from years of experience and personal experience. So we have both the personal and professional side of advice coming from this video because I've been through it with one of my kids as well. And we'll talk a little bit more about the situation I was in with my child, but this poop situation occurred years after initial potty training. So if you're in that boat as well, you are definitely not the only one riding that boat. These poopy problems are the biggest potty training struggle that I see at Slumber and Bloom. So now we know that you're not the only parent dealing with this, but another thing that you need to fully understand and grasp is that potty training is not failing. It does not mean throw in the towel, let's quit, this isn't working, because they do understand pee. So there's a disconnect with the poop. We really want to differentiate what is normal. I don't like saying normal. Let's talk about what's typical and what is not typical. Normal poop accidents will happen during the actual potty training phase. If you're still in that initial 2 to 3 weeks, maybe even the first month, and you're still seeing some poop accidents, that's still within the range of normal. It's to be expected. Your child is still learning the difference between the sensation to pee and the sensation to poop. It's two different things coming from two different places, two different holes. So there's two different sensations in their body, and that's a lot to learn. It's a lot to wrap their head around. Another normal part of potty training is your child being distracted through what they're doing, and they may not be subconsciously or consciously thinking, hey, I'm feeling the urge to poop, I should stop what I'm doing and go sit on the toilet. They may just be so engrossed in what they're doing that they just don't, their brain just doesn't compute. Another normal part of poop accidents is that your kid just didn't notice in time. So this can be the situation where maybe they're playing or watching TV, or maybe they're outside running around and they do notice, hey, I've got that feeling and I think I need to poop, but it just starts coming out and they just didn't get to the toilet in time. That can be normal. Now, of course, it all comes with the caveat of what is not normal, what is not typical, what might be a red flag that we need to get help with this. So a few things that should stand out as, hey, this doesn't seem right. It feels like there's something more going on than just normal accidents. If this is a consistent problem, your child refuses to poop in the toilet. They won't even sit on the toilet when they need to poop. If this is a consistent issue, and it has been from day one of potty training, then there is something deeper going. Maybe your child isn't withholding, but maybe they will only poop in one specific spot. So perhaps that means they're hiding behind the couch, or they're going in their bedroom closet. Yes, I have heard this before. These are examples of families that I have worked with to help them overcome their child pooping in their underwear. I have had 4-year-old, 5-year-old clients who have gone into their bedroom, sneaking pull-ups into their closet, putting the pull-up on, pooping in it, taking the pull-up off, and cleaning themselves up. If you are in this phase, you need to get help. That does not mean that you are a failure, your child is a failure, potty training is a failure, none of it is a failure. There is a disconnect in your child's brain. Something else is preventing them from being able to poop in the toilet. And it's not always physical. It can be emotional. Most of the time, it is emotional. Another red flag is if there is pain or discomfort while your child is pooping, and or if there is pain or discomfort before your child has to poop. And I'm not just talking your occasional stomach ache. I am talking if your child is running around on their tippy toes, holding their bottom, saying don't want to poop, or don't come out, any of the I don't want to phrases, or if they're laying on the couch squirming around, trying to not have to stand up, because if they stand, it's coming out. Your child is smart enough and they know exactly what is happening. That is both a mental and a physical red flag that we need to get in there. We need to intervene and we need to help that child. Now, of course, we have to talk about the situation I was in, not myself, with my child, where there was potty training success, like literally in a day to 2 days. There were rarely ever accidents, and it wasn't even a thought in our mind anymore. But 2 years later, there was a chronic constipation situation. That's kind of fun to say, a constipation situation. But for us, it became so much of a struggle that we did end up going to see a gastroenterologist doctor, and my child did end up having symptoms of IBS that needed to be medicated. So if this is something that you are dealing with your child and it is a new situation, you always need to go to the doctor first. It's not until the doctor rules out anything medical that you can work on the emotional behavioral strategies. I will say that to every single client that comes across my desk or in my inbox, however you want to phrase it, but making sure that there is no medical reason why your child cannot poop in the toilet is the most important thing before jumping into any other strategy. So then we pinpoint the 3 main reasons why this is happening. There is either a learning gap, a constipation problem, or too much pressure and a power struggle. Those are the 3 reasons why these poop accidents are happening. Your child falls under the category of 1 or more. If there's a skill gap and your child just hasn't learned the skill yet, they may be refusing the skill because you're putting too much pressure on them, because they're in a power struggle where you might be telling them to go to the bathroom 12 times a day, which is so annoying. Please stop. And your child doesn't know how to communicate. Please stop giving me reminders every 20 minutes. It is so annoying. And instead, they're just going to say no every single time, and they're going to flat out refuse the toilet because this is just too much for them. So now the things that we don't want to do when dealing with these poop accidents is we don't ever want to shame or guilt our children. Now, I know it can be easier said than done, and sometimes we just get so frustrated that the frustration comes out of our mouths. I get it, but we need to understand that it's okay to walk away and have your frustration elsewhere. Do not put that on your child. They're already struggling internally enough. We definitely don't want to force the sitting. So if you fall under the category of I'm giving my kid reminders every 20 minutes to use the toilet, and once they don't, if they don't say I've heard, what have I heard, if they haven't sat in an hour, then I'm going to force them to sit on the toilet and hold them down. That is a big no-no. We're not doing that. I don't know where on the internet somebody put out there that it's okay to force your child to stay on the toilet until they poop, but we're not doing that. We are also not interrogating children. We are not going to carry on and on about why won't you poop in the toilet? Why won't you poop in the toilet? Why won't you go? Are you scared? Does it hurt? Like all these different ideas that now you're putting into your child's head. If you ask your child if they're scared to poop on the toilet, yeah, I'm scared of that. Does it hurt? Yeah, that's why I won't do it. So realistically, interrogating your child and asking them a million different questions about using the bathroom is doing no one any good, and you're not actually getting to the root of the issue. We are also not throwing in the towel and going back to pull-ups. There's a time and a place for everything, and there are times where I will say, let's go back to pull-ups for a week or 2 weeks and then come back. Most of the time, we're not doing that. Most of the time, we are going to continue dealing with the accidents while working through the emotional side of things first and then the physical side of things. So with my degree in child life psychology and a certification as a play therapy practitioner, I use a lot of play therapy in my consultations. This is the best way to learn about what your child is subconsciously going through and teach them different ways of thinking. Parents have to understand that this is a process. It is not a one and done. The longer your child has been having poop accidents, the longer it's going to take for them to stop having these accidents. Now, of course, yeah, there's the unicorn kids who it just clicks and they get it, but 9 times out of 10, it's going to take a little bit of time for them to accept I can poop in the toilet now. So what you should do as the parent of a child who has plenty of poop accidents is to neutralize your language around these accidents. We're not saying, hey, it's okay. We're not saying, why would you do that? We're just neutral. Okay, you had an accident, let's clean it up. You are going to start looking for patterns. Keep a potty log if you need to. You don't need to keep track of all the pee successes if they're not having pee accidents, but you do want to keep track of the poop stuff. I have poop logs in the Poop Fix guide that you can get in the description box down below. I have daily, weekly, monthly logs, so depending on what your child's situation is, there are logs on logs. Get it? But supporting your child's bodily awareness by keeping track of when is this happening, what are they doing during their accident, and how can we work together to prevent this from happening again and again. My leg fell asleep. Oh, shake it out. With that being said, I highly encourage you to get the Poop Fix guide. It's a great place to start. You can find the link in the description box down below. If you think that your child is so far beyond that kind of help, then you can book a consultation. I will leave that link in the description and the comment section as well. Just remember that you are not alone. You don't have to go through this alone. I will be here to help you every step of the way. That is the best part of hiring a consultant, is that I am here to support you through the ups, the downs, the frustrations, the celebrations, all the things that come with getting through this. But just know that there is a light at the end of the tunnel. Don't forget to check out those links and keep blooming. Mwah.